Okay, I'm not crying. You are. You know, what's all in a day? I started this day knowing that, those were the energies of the day, but sure enough, and I knew that we had disappointment, but the things you cannot make up on the new moon in Cancer, my very first baby, growing up. So, wow. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys, all of Mom's snuck picture. Well, we were allowed to take those pictures, but just sort of in the background, this is me, as if I'm not using my cell phone. That's me taking pictures. But I did, the symbolism never escapes me. When she was doing the drape photo, they asked her if she wanted a white rose or a red rose. And she looks at me and she says, well, what do you think? And I thought, well, what do you let? She has red hair. And of course I knew she doesn't, care to wear red. So she chose white. And as she was sitting there with it, over her shoulder, I thought, the Fool has the white rose. Right, card 0, the beginning of the Fool's journey. That white rose, just symbolizing purity, right? New beginnings, clean slate energy, just setting out on adventure. So, it's here. It's happening. Obviously, it's going to show up differently for all of us, but I thought that was really neat. And then on my way, as we were coming home, like a license plate was right in my face, and it was my maiden initials, MDW. And, I hadn't seen those letters together in so long. And sure enough, one of the things that I had shared with you guys, I think I mentioned it in the prior polos, certainly on the new moon reading, and last night on the live, we talked about these shifting nodes, changing signs, and how it takes us back to the last time that they were in Aries and Libra, which was 2004 until 2006. So I was saying this weekend on the collab chat with Mila, where were you in 2004 and what was happening in your life? And in fact, I was getting married. So I got married in 2004, and the truth is I couldn't wait to change my initials. So it was just so interesting. This is just how the universe speaks to us. And many of you have been with me long enough to know that the more you tune into those spiritual breadcrumbs, the louder, before you know it, you have a whole loaf, right, of bread. From all of the things. So yeah, the white rose, the license plate, it just keeps coming. And so it's appropriate that we pick back up here on Wednesday, our midweek blessing, because it is the beautiful Ace of Cups. And it's adorable here, right? It's so adorable with this little baby and the cup overflowing, the dove of peace. It is so, so cute. So I wanted to pull up the book so we could talk about this card of new beginnings and of cup overflowing, this energy of blessings and abundance. And, aces are new beginnings. Aces are at the beginning. So this is talking about, and also water, being that we're in the cup suit, water is emotion, flow. So it's emotional abundance. It means there's a lot of emotion. The cup is literally overflowing with emotions of all kinds. So this can be joy, happiness, excitement, and everything in the spectrum of an overflow of emotions, right? Divine love, union, overflowing emotions, new relationships, creativity, contentment, emotional expression, enthusiasm, compassion, potential pregnancy or birth. Yeah, I always break that to the ladies on the live. Usually I'm saying break it to, because most of us are on that live are saying, But, being fertile and pregnant is a symbol of birthing the new, of gestating something, of bringing forward something. And that's what we see in this abundant cup overflowing. So that's the energy that this brings in as a midweek blessing. So in your life, some news, some message, some arrival of something that really fills you up or is really abundant with blessings. You know, open your heart to the warmth of unconditional love as it flows through you. This is your opportunity to be generous with your loving energy, just like this adorable otter. I think there is an otter emoji, but I think I used a seal. They're both adorable. You have an endless source of divine love all around you all the time. When you allow yourself the freedom of emotional expression, and this is key, emotional expression, you open up the channels of creativity. So as that flows through you and it moves through you, it awakens and ignites and uplifts that creativity within you as well. Paint, draw, sculpt, write, make music, dance, do whatever inspires you. Pulling this card is a signal that a new relationship is on the horizon, or perhaps a new pregnancy or birth. It represents generosity, compassion, and contentment. So a new relationship is on the horizon. Remember, who's at the table with you, right? And again, it can just be you, a new relationship with you, with your inner child, with your ego self, with your higher self. Your conscious self is here. And then we have all these aspects of self, right, that we have relationships with. And like, it's complicated in some cases, right? But this new relationship is a whole new way of seeing you know, and everything that you have moved through. And that reflection back to 2004 was about, you know, who was I then? And where was I in my life? And what did I know? And what did I not know? You know, remember, our fortune says, one's mind, once stretched by a new idea, concept, perspective, lesson, wisdom, never regains its original dimensions. There's no going back, right? There's no going back and fitting it into that container. You know, once all of this spills forth, there's no putting it back in the cup, right? So it's expansion and it's growth and it's beautiful. So allow it to flow. Like I said, this represents all of the emotions. So even if you do find yourself feeling heavier emotions, you know, this week, the blessing in all of that is the cleansing, the clearing, and the release that gives you. So we let it flow. And that's one of the things that when I talked about expressing your emotions, and I keep going here because that's what I feel like if I need a good cry, okay, and this just happened to me last week, and I'm not letting it out fully, I can feel that tension in my neck, like I swallowed, it's like it's just like stuck in there, like it's just ready to overboard, you know? Let it flow, because that movement, energy in motion, emotion is exactly what we need in order to clear and begin anew with that purity, that clean slate, that new beginning energy. And this is such, can you feel what a fantastic time that is? New moon, new cycle, right? New relationship with a new you. Beautiful. Okay, let's look at Thursday. Okay, Thursday represents how are we growing, right? So we're flowing, we're expanding. How are we growing? And we have this amazing action of swords, which is the Knight of Swords. And interesting, last night, a lot of court cards came up. Court cards represent the personalities, aspects of self, aspects of situations. That is the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings of the tarot. And in this deck, they're beautifully renamed. And in this case, the action of swords, which is the knight. And so, and we see here this kind of clearing in the fog to this flag on top of the mountain. And so it's like really arriving at this place where action, right? Taking action, the action of swords. And of course, in the swords, we're talking air, element, movement, forward movement. And that sword, right? The sword of clarity, being direct and clear and cutting through the fog, cutting through the illusion, cutting through, again, when we talk about reconciling old beliefs and ideas and things that we've been carrying with us that no longer fit, right? We have expanded beyond, and there's no getting those thoughts back into that small container. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's what the fortune cookie says, and that's what the cards say, and that's what the universe is saying. Like, it's all the same. It's all coming through. Whatever works for you, whatever's your bag, baby, the message is the same. So, it's like bringing in this clarity through this clearing. And the sword, again, is representing your thoughts, your beliefs, your ideas. And also in the case here, it's like an aha. It's like a, yes, now I get it. Like, it clicks into place. I'm inspired. I freed myself from that limited perspective. I freed myself from something I saw as being binding or in some way, holding me captive, when actually I have this pocket knife here. I can cut myself free and I'm good. Now I can move forward and take inspired action. And so that is how we are growing into the knowing that it's up to us, that it's all about our perspective. Yes, there are physical limitations. There are circumstances that make things a little different, a little more challenging, a little long way, and everything else. And it's not to overlook some very real challenges and aspects that can come up to redirect us. And that's my family is my rock message, which I'll share here too. I shared it on social media, but again, things were just not flowing my way last night. And I had I was so crabby. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm trying to upload stuff and it's not. And so I thought I was all ahead of the game and scheduled it. And, for some reason only, 40 seconds of the 60-second video would play or something. So in case you didn't see the message about family is my rock, that's actually a little 60-second clip I made 2 years ago over the new moon in Cancer, inspired by the selenite rock that is in the video. And, and I've shared this with many of you before, and it'll say so in the video, explaining this sort of, channeled message that came through to me at the time about this being written on a piece of selenite, which is soft and water soluble and very fragile on the outside, but actually has extremely strong, powerful healing capabilities. And the fact that selenite is self-cleansing. So it's about the fact that in the case of family, of tribe, of surroundings, of circumstances that are in our orbit, is my rock. Yes, for strength and solitude and a source of, comfort, hopefully. But also like banging our head up against a rock, right? Like the frustration, the challenges, the things that redirect. When the water hits the rock, it has to adapt, and it does. And so do you. And you always have. And that's the lesson of saying, this too shall pass, or I will find a way, and I'm claiming it. So that's what we were saying last night. I claim it. It's like sticking a flag in that, overcoming this mountain, surmounting it. And maybe I had to come this way or that way or from a different angle, because all of those redirections are a part of my soul's growth, healing, learning, expansion. And so it's beautiful, and it's messy and complicated and all the other things. But there's this beautiful awareness coming into clarity now that we can see it, and every moment that we spend in that frequency, right? And not every moment is in that frequency, admittedly as well. But when we do, we are raising the bar, we're raising the vibration, and we're tipping the scale. It's the tipping point to raising our collective consciousness, of which each of you are a part of, right? So that's a beautiful thing, and that's a big message, but this is a big week. The things that are happening now have this, and you can see what I'm saying. Look back to the things that happened in 2004 to 2006 to, last October to April. These are all these moments in time that we can connect in with. They're all happening simultaneously. Time is not linear. To see how we have come through this journey and where we are now, and enabling ourselves to see from some perspective where we are going and how we are going there. How am I going to take this journey? That's the message of 2023 in the Chariot. I can't control the weather. I can't control the traffic. I can't control the detours or the road rage or the other drivers. I'm controlling how am I going to take this journey. And that's what we're growing into. So big message, beautiful message. Let's wrap it up for Friday.